Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. So I got some harsh, just truths, man. This is what it is. So here we go. How many veterans commit suicide? The VA released in 2022 National Veteran Suicide Prevention Annual Report in September. The publication analyzed suicide rates among U.S. adults and veterans between 2001 and 2020. According to the data, there were 6,000 or more veteran suicides per year during that period. So, I mean, they've kind of misworded their wording right here, but it sounds like they're saying so there's at least 6,000 people or more that killed themselves, active service members, every year. And that corresponds to the information down here. I asked how many died, and that's what I was looking for. And what I found was official Pentagon numbers do not include the many troops who return home and kill themselves as a result of psychological wounds such as PTSD. So I typed in how many people have died in active combat, and this came up because it showed a list of people who died, but then it also said, hold on a second, a lot of those people that died actually died from killing themselves. So it turns out over 30,177 to be exact, service members and veterans of the post 9/11 wars have committed suicide. That's over 4 times as many as have died in combat. And then, I mean, this is like one of the biggest understatements of all. The VA could be doing more to address this mental health crisis. So, I mean, we're reaching a point here where, it's absolutely absurd. You realize, man, I'm gonna have to probably make a separate video because there's so much in just this little bit of information. I mean, we're living in a country that's wealthier than pretty much all the other countries in the world, and we have a military that's more, one of the most powerful military forces in the world, and yet we're fighting in all these conflicts that are stemming from fabricated events, and we have huge amounts of depression and PTSD, and now we have statistics that show that more soldiers, people trained to kill and fight for their country, are killing themselves 4 times as much. They're killing themselves 4 times more so than they are actually dying in combat. It doesn't take common sense to say that these people are depressed because of what they're fighting for. They're so depressed about it, they're so beaten up about it, and so confused and so lost that they don't even know what to do with themselves other than to kill themselves. That's how bad these things are. That's how bad these people are pushing these young men and women to do. And they put them in these compromising situations. They give them these weapons to make them feel all powerful and egotistical. I mean, who doesn't feel powerful when they have an M16 and body armor with a bunch of dudes around with the same type of shit? Okay, you get them feeling that way. You get a commander who's got his fucking head up his ass and doesn't know what the hell he's doing, or he does know what he's doing, doesn't care what he's doing, and then fucking that commander tells him to go and shoot up these kids, or fucking hold down this fort, or can take care of that, or capture this, or seize this, and it's like these dudes just do it, thinking they're doing a good job, getting off on it, and then they don't know the spiritual wickedness that they're actually perpetuating. But then later, when they come home or when they have their downtime or just later on in their life, they start feeling horrible. And then they continue to feel horrible because they continue to do more horrible things, because that's all we're doing over there is horrible things. All of those wars, post 9/11 wars, were all fabricated and perpetuated by an evil ritual done in front of our eyes that perpetuated all of these wars. And so everybody associated with those wars that comes from those evil rituals is inheriting that wickedness to a higher level, because they're actually falling into the actual spell that's being cast over the world, which is a whole action, or a cast action of events, which includes war and the propagation of war and the towers falling and the war on terror and all that bullshit and the Oxycontin and the drugs and then the medical, and it's all connected, man. And these people in the service, a lot of them know this shit, so then that gets passed around amongst them, and they start getting even more depressed and more depressed and more depressed. And then they have to realize that if they do leave the army, they have to discharge dishonorably because they're not fulfilling their contract, so it looks bad on their papers. So then they come home and they can't find a job, and everybody looks at them like they're cowards because nobody's going to understand what they know because they weren't over there. They also have all this PTSD from actual war combat. It's a whole conglomerate, or whatever that word is, of just shitty experiences. Which, for what reason though? What is the purpose? So it's no righteous cause. We went over there for a completely unrighteous cause, which is why I'm going to say it, and I'm going to continue saying it. I hope others in the military say it, or people who used to be in the military say it. We need to get our troops out of the military. We need to develop our own military here, our own militia, defensive militia here in America, and we need to get our boys and our young women and men and older women and young women all out of it. Those that really want to do good and help out the country, we need our help here on the land here. Let's take care of problems here first, and then once we get our shit together, then we can go overseas and really start helping people that really need help, like in Africa, not in the Middle East. If the Middle East needs our help, let them ask for our help, and then we can discuss ways to help them instead of just invading their country. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And now numbers like this can absolutely prove it. You have 4 times as many veterans killing themselves as actually dying in the war. It's just it's a ridiculous statistic. So anyways, you guys, yeah, I just want to share that with y'all. Love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.